Hi everyone, and welcome to the Ninja of Wisdom. I'm your host, Aaron. Think you know Snow White? Before Disney turned it into a magical love story, the original version was filled with murder, cannibalism, and brutal revenge. And believe it or not, the Seven Dwarfs we know today, they didn't even exist. The most famous version of Snow White comes from the Brothers Grimm, first published in 1812 as Schneewittchen. But this story is much older. Some historians believe it was inspired by Margaretha von Waldeck, a 16th century noblewoman whose stepmother poisoned her. Others trace it back to medieval folk tales. But one thing is clear, this was never meant to be a children's story. Here's something you might not know. The original Snow White had no named dwarfs. In fact, in the Brothers Grimm version, the dwarfs don't even have a set number. The story just describes a house in the woods with small beds and a set table, and Snow White takes shelter there. Some early versions have 3, 5, or even 12 dwarfs, but never the famous 7 we know today. The dwarfs only got their names and personalities much later, in a 1912 Broadway play, and it was Disney's 1937 movie that made them iconic: Doc, Grumpy, Happy, Sleepy, Bashful, Sneezy, and Dopey. The evil queen in the original story isn't Snow White's stepmother. She's her real mother, and her jealousy is so intense that she orders her daughter's heart, liver, and lungs to be cut out so she can eat them. This wasn't just an act of cruelty. Eating the organs of the young was believed to restore beauty and youth. The huntsman, unwilling to kill Snow White, deceives the queen and brings back the organs of a boar instead. She roasts them with salt and eats them, believing she has consumed her own daughter. Forget true love's kiss. In the original, Snow White doesn't wake up because of love. When the prince finds her, she's already dead, but instead of mourning, he wants to take her body home because she's so beautiful. That's right, he asks the dwarfs if he can keep her corpse as a decoration. And how does she wake up? Not by a kiss. As the prince's servants carry her away, they trip, the coffin shakes, and the piece of poisoned apple dislodges from her throat. But Snow White's revenge is far more horrifying than anything Disney ever showed. At her wedding, the queen is forced to wear red-hot iron shoes and dance until she drops dead. The Grimm brothers made sure justice was slow and excruciating. By the time Disney adapted Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937, the story had been completely rewritten. The queen became a wicked stepmother, the cannibalism was removed, the dwarfs were given names, and the prince's creepy obsession was replaced with true love's kiss. Now that you know the dark history behind Snow White, does it change how you see this fairy tale? Let me know in the comments. And if you love discovering the shocking origins of classic stories, don't forget to subscribe for more.